Hey guys, what's going on? Adam Snyder here with Homemade Entrepreneur. So I want to talk about something that probably nobody's really talked about, or at least I haven't seen it or heard of anybody talk about. But I want to talk about Amazon FBA and the struggle that comes with it. So in 2016, so I'm just gonna give you, my take on it. 2016 was great. My Amazon FBA business overtook all my other businesses as far as income, and it can happen very quickly. So if you don't know, I run a bunch of websites. I do a lot of affiliate marketing. There's Kindle publishing, merch by Amazon. It goes on and on. Anyway, so my Amazon FBA business, the income overtook all my other incomes, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But what I didn't like was that, being that it was now my highest income, I was spending more time doing that. And in 2015 and kind of the beginning of 2016, it wasn't that way. I was making more money doing all the other stuff than my Amazon FBA business. So what ended up happening was I got burnt out. So like right now, I haven't been to a thrift store in probably 2 weeks. I haven't been to a pawn shop in maybe 3 weeks. I still do retail arbitrage. I do it maybe twice a week. And then online arbitrage, I do it every single day, but I don't touch a lot of those items. So, and then my main business is wholesale and private label. Private label is slowly becoming bigger and bigger, which is great. But I got burnt out, and in 2006, especially then in 2016, in fourth quarter, there was times where I'd sleep maybe 3 hours a night because there was so much other stuff that I had to do. And that was the hard part, is it wasn't fun for me anymore. Going out to thrift stores, going to pawn shops, doing the whole retail arbitrage thing, it wasn't fun. I still did it, but I still made money, and I'm happy I did, but it wasn't fun. There was times where I'd go out of town by myself, without my kids and my wife. And I remember my wife calling one time, was like, I don't know, I'm just not into it. I kind of just want to come home. And so, I ended up finishing out the day. I didn't stay the night. I ended up finishing out the day, drove home. But I was like, I can't keep doing this. It's not fun. I want this business to be fun. If your Amazon FBA business is starting to become more work than fun, I'd figure out a way to change it. And that's where wholesale, and especially private label, came in. And for me, private label is a big one. I love private label. I'm not saying you should get into it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying you should, weigh all your options. Because for me, private label was fun because I was selling products. I was sourcing the products on Alibaba. I'd get order sample, get them made, do all that stuff. If you want to talk about private label, we can do that in another video. But what I do once the product got to me was I test it out. I'd sample the sample product. I'd test it out before I'd order a large quantity. So I tested out. A lot of my stuff is like outdoorsy type stuff. The kitchen products, they do okay. My new stuff, it's all like more like outdoorsy. Because of that, I gotta test it all out. And that's where I had fun, because I do all the pictures, I do videos, because that's how I promote those products. Is I promote them on YouTube, promote them on a special website just for those products. And that became fun for me. That was back into what I like to do. I like to have, I like my business to be diversified, because I like to do a bunch of different things. Now, most people aren't going to tell you that, they hated their business, but there was days where I hated it. I hated going to retail stores, especially for fourth quarter. That's the time where you should love it, because everything you pick up is pretty much gold. You can send it off to Amazon, mark it up, and you can make money off it. But I hated it because I was going to stores, sometimes by myself, sometimes with other people. But I was going to these stores, thrift stores, pawn shops, retail stores, buying all this stuff. And there's times where I'd be waiting in line, and it's like I'm here either by myself or with somebody, and I'm waiting in line. I could be doing something else. And that's also, you could hire people to do all your retail arbitrage sourcing for you. I used to have that a little bit, but then they started doing their own thing, so that's perfectly fine. But I just want to let you guys know, this is a tough business, because you will get burned out if you're doing everything on your own. For me, I do a lot of stuff on my own, as far as like local sourcing, all that stuff. Have one employee and that's it. I use prep centers. I use outsourcers. So I hire virtual assistants. I hire people to actually get me lists of products I can go and buy online. As far as private label and wholesale, it's pretty much all me. It's a fun business. I love this business and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But at the same time, you got to have balance. If you don't have any balance in your business, you're going to struggle. Now, if you guys have felt this way, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear about it, and help you guys out any way I can. I've been through this. This is my second year that I felt this way after Q4, and it's, the Q4 for 2015 was great. I sold out a lot of my stuff, and that was one thing I didn't want to happen in 2016. So I sent in more inventory than I actually needed, or that I thought I needed, and hopefully that would I wouldn't sell out as fast. And so I think that's kind of what contributed to me just being burnt out and just hating Amazon FBA, entirely. Was that's not what I wanted. I like diversification in my life, in my business, and that wasn't happening because I was spending so much time doing Amazon FBA, my websites, and all that stuff. I have full-time writers that write for me. I also have managers and a few editors that do all this stuff. But in most cases, I like to see the finished product before it actually goes live on the sites. Because of that, and I was so busy doing other stuff, I couldn't hire somebody else to help me hire another administrator for all my sites. And I didn't want to. And it's because I was so busy doing everything else on my Amazon FBA business, I couldn't focus on that. So my websites, even though they were still very successful and they still made money, I didn't get the content up when I wanted to. So there was articles, and I still have a couple articles now, or not a couple, probably have 20, maybe 30 articles now that are still waiting to be posted, because I only like to do one new article a day. I don't like to just bulk upload them. Because of that, there was a backlog of articles that just weren't being published. And because I didn't have the time to read through it, make sure it was good, and then publish it, make it go live. And so it's because of that, because of my whole Amazon FBA business, I was struggling in my other things, because it's like I'm only one person. I can only do so much. But that's where being smart with whatever it is you're doing. Now for 2015, like I said, haven't been to a thrift store in about 2 weeks. Haven't been to a pawn shop in maybe 3. Retail arbitrage, I still do it, but it's not the bulk of my business. Okay, so I don't know a lot of people that are gonna tell you, they've had 100% success with Amazon. They love it, they wouldn't change it for the world, and they've never had anything bad to say about it. Because if you're like me and you run more than one business, even if you just run your Amazon FBA business and you're trying to balance it with your everyday life, family, kids, a wife, husband, whatever, another job, I guarantee you at some point you felt burnout, you just wanted to give up. I'm here to tell you, don't give up. Don't give up. Yeah, you might be burnt out. At the end of the day, there's times where I'll go to bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and as soon as and this has never happened, whenever I lay down, it takes me about an hour to fall asleep, and that's the least amount of time. Between an hour to maybe 2 hours to fall asleep. I don't have an issue sleeping when I fall asleep, but then there's always something that just clicks, or 6 o'clock rolls around, maybe 5 o'clock rolls around. It's like I know I need to get up. I need to get in a workout. I need to go, get some work done. I need to send some emails, do whatever it is. And because I create a plan the night before for my following day, I'm already thinking about that stuff when I fall asleep, which is not necessarily good, but that's what I do. I think about that stuff, and so 5 o'clock rolls around, I'm up. 6 o'clock, I'm up. 7 o'clock, I'm up. It doesn't matter what it is that I have to do. When there's a time I need to be up, I'm gonna get up. It doesn't matter if I went to bed at 6 or 6:30 in the morning. If I have to be up by 7:30, to take my son to school at 8, I'm gonna do that. Or on the weekends, I'm not gonna sleep in, because I know I didn't get this thing done back on Tuesday. It pushed all this stuff back. It's just a domino effect, and now Sunday morning rolls around, I'm still not done with my stuff for Friday. I'm going to do that because I have priorities. And my priorities and what I see for myself, my life, my business, everything going forward in 2017, I'm going to hit every single goal that I set for myself. And sleep, it's important, but for me, I have other things that are just as important. Now, with that said, just know if you don't get enough sleep, and I'm not saying every single night 2 hours of sleep is what I get. It varies. Some nights I'll get 10 hours of sleep because I got so much stuff done. Or I was just so tired and I'm feeling like groggy, feel like, a sickness coming on. So I'll sleep 8 to 10 hours. Because that's what you have to do in this business. But I just wanted to let you guys know, there's going to be times where you absolutely hate your Amazon business. It may be because you're not getting as much sales as you want. It might be because you're spending all this time sourcing, but the income's just not coming in, or as fast as you want to. That happens. Just know there's other people out there that are just like you. Like I said, I was burnt out as well. So, just want to leave you guys with that. If you guys have any questions or any stories, put them in the comment section below because I'd love to hear you guys' stories. So, you guys take care. Keep running your business. Be successful. Like this video if you did like it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next video.